as I call upon on stage Mr. Ajit Isaac. Round of applause as I get him back on stage.
It's just a summer thing.
Good afternoon and a warm welcome to all of you here today. It's the 9th edition of Sangam, and every year we seem to have a bigger audience. Many years back, we started off in a small hotel room, then went across to the National Games Village where we had an auditorium taken. And then after that, we had a slightly smaller auditorium than this, and now finally at Christ College, which is, I think, among the largest indoor auditoriums here. But it's fantastic to see all of you here, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this function today. We don't have a chief guest today. You should know that each one of you is a chief guest. We've had a fantastic year. And it's a pleasure to be able to host each one of you here today. At today's function, we must accomplish 2 or 3 things. One is have a great time. It's 1 year since we met the last time, and a lot of things have happened, so it's a good time to let your hair down a bit and enjoy the evening. The second one is to meet a few of your friends from the other businesses who you seldom meet. So it's a good time to go across and say hello to some of the people that you've never seen before but only heard as names or as personalities. And the third thing is very important, is to also showcase some talent and performances that we have within the Quest community here. Last time we had some power-packed performances, and I'm hoping too that this time we'll see some people perform, and it'd be lovely to see some in-house talent from all of you. So I just want to rewind back a bit on the year that's gone by. We had, as most of you know, we've had a great IPO. We had an IPO in which we listed on the 12th of July at a premium of approximately 58% to our issue price of 317. This was the highest subscribed issue in India ever, for an issue size in excess of about 400 crores. So at 147 times, it's a tough record to beat for somebody to get an issue oversubscribed by. Subsequently, we've also grown post-listing in terms of market cap. We are a bit more than $1 billion right now. We're maybe around 7,500 crores or so, making us perhaps among the top 10 valued business services companies in the world, and something that we must give a hand to all of you for making this happen. So these are just some data points about some other companies that went to market and how we've performed versus them. So you can see that 147 times we are the number 1 in this. The market has noticed our performance. The market has taken note of what we've done and what potential exists within the company. So we will find ourselves under scrutiny in the market a few times to come, but today is not the day to say anything about it. But the only point to note here is that as among one of maybe 200 most capitalized companies today in India, I mean, one of the 200 largest market capitalized companies, a lot of future investors will be looking at us. So what we do and how we perform will, of course, come under public scrutiny for a fair bit. Ever since the acquisition, we've also moved on to do a few more things. We've completed 3 acquisitions. We've done an acquisition of a company in Singapore. We've done another one in a technology space called Simpliance, and a third one in the security services business called Terrier, many of whom I see are doing guarding services here today. So if any of you misbehave, it'll be one of our company employees who's going to pick you up. So that's Terrier. But going forward, one of the priorities that we as a company have today is the digital transformation of each one of our businesses. And that digital transformation is one which we expect all of you to participate in. At every business of ours, whether it is in facilities management, where we can possibly do an application-based service request and delivery facility for hygiene purposes, business automation and business process automation services through robots that we can deliver through the human resources space, using the Internet of Things that we can mobilize for condition maintenance related work in the industrial asset management space. The future of our company and Quest is actually in the transformation of in the digital transformation of all the activity we do. So that's a place where we'll find a lot of action, and hopefully next year, same time, we should be able to have some things to review about how the digital transformation of our company is taking place. But before closing out, I just wanted to touch upon a few of our people and a few of our businesses and how and what's been going on in each one of them. So let's take our IT business. In our IT business, we have our largest single block of EBITDA coming from Magna Infotech, a company that we acquired in 2009. Magna is a crown jewel for us in many ways, fighting headwind right now in the office automation, in the IT automation related challenges that the market's throwing at us. But clearly a great company by what it's done and achieved so far. Ably led by TSKK, we've got Calvin from Hyderabad, we've got Sunil Chemankotal, we've got Sunil Nehra, Shweta Bhatt, Supal, all of whom have been with our company for a longish while. So one of the reasons why we've achieved the success that we have at Magna is also because of the longevity of the people that we've got at the company. The other IT asset we have is MFX in the US. MFX, a company that's about 15 years old, done a terrific turnaround this year, so we'll deliver between MFX and Mindwire and BrainHunter in the US about $5 million of EBITDA, up from almost zero last year. So it's a fantastic turnaround that they've achieved. Led by Vikram Gulati, who's actually the first person who joined this position in New York, and somebody who I've known since 2005, so again, a long-standing relationship. Dave, who is the Chief Operations Officer, has been with the company for the last 13-odd years, and the gentleman who heads, Mark Bolduc, who heads Mindwire and BrainHunter out of Toronto and Ottawa, been with the company again for 13 years, chartered accountant by training. So great management team, again, longevity of people there, and proud to see the turnaround, and I know we've got much to look forward to there. The Offshore Development Center in India, Kalyan is again somebody that we've known in the past for a longish time, about 250 people strong right now, and at some point will become an independent profit center, but doing very well in supporting the growth of MFX in the US itself. We've also recently established a back office processing center on a third-party basis for us. The center is known as, the business is known as CenterQ. CenterQ is headed by the gentleman who dresses very well and who takes care of his appearance very carefully, Mr. Anurag Gupta. So Anurag has again been with us for the last few years, and no better person to lead it than Anurag with his previous experience in banking, financial services, and in the outsourcing business from Capgemini. So we have a lot of hope for this business itself. We have right now about 200-odd seats that is occupied by internal customers of Quest Corp. We have the first contract from a pet health insurance company from Canada, which means you insure dogs, you insure cats. In India, you could insure cows also, I guess. But we have about 35 seats, now going up to about 50 seats for this business, and then an impending contract for another 400 seats. So this business could possibly be another 1,000 seats by itself, ranking perhaps among the top 15 in India in the business process outsourcing space. So that's CenterQ for you. Our oldest business that we started off with is the human resources business, and a business that we all like very much, and is a steady state business for us. Headed by Guru Prasad. Guru Prasad is now, he's a bit of a titan in the whole space. You know, having worked with me now for the last 10, 12 years, built this business from scratch, 24 by 7 on call. He's available, complete company loyalist, and somebody who's built this business from scratch. He's built a great team under him. Lohit in Delhi. Lohit last month collected 250 crores by a single business. And that's an incredible number to collect in 1 month. And that business has crossed 100,000 people. So at a profitability level, it's number one in India. It'll generate this year about close to 50 crores of EBITDA in this year. But more importantly, it's eating market share. It will sooner than later be number one, along with Magna Infotech. If we add the combined revenues and profitability of Magna and IKEA, which is our human resource business, we'll be the number one staffing company in India. We also have in human resources, he's like the Energizer Bunny. He's called Sachin. Sachin is full of energy all the time. He's on the flight or on the train or on the phone line. Between the three, you can always see him up to something. Sachin is leading a team today of almost 400 odd recruiters. This team will deliver almost about 15 crores of EBITDA, the largest single recruiting workforce in India. So to manage such a workforce and to keep it in the leadership position is a great job that Sachin is doing. We've also recently added on the search and the RPO business. So together, it's quite a formidable work unit that we've got in the recruitment space. We also did an investment recently in an application development company called Simpliance, headed by Anil D'Souza. Anil, I don't know if he's here today, but again, a fantastic entrepreneur. Built an application which I think will become a market leader. What Tally is to accounting, hopefully Simpliance will become to compliance management. We also have Jolly Joe's in Dependo. In Dependo, our target is to go up to about 25,000 deliveries a day. My understanding is that we have the capability to muscle our way to that. We are perhaps at about 10,000 odd right now, and hopefully when we reach 25,000 deliveries a day, we'll be among the top 5 in India. We also run what is a very understated business in training and skills development called Excelis, led by Mangesh. Mangesh is again somebody who's been with us for the last 8 years, joined us and built this business from scratch. We have 66 centers in India today. We are the largest training partner on a private-public partnership program with the Government of India, with the Ministry of Rural Development, training almost 20,000 people in India today. So this is a business with tremendous impact. And apart from just training and finding people jobs, this business has a lot of social impact. For every one person you're able to train and find him a job, there are at least 3 to 5 people in his house who are dependent on him. So the social impact of this business is very high, and I'm proud to say that it's a business that's the largest in India, run very well, and the impact that we're creating is of a very high order. The first acquisition that we did, after we started off being in the human resources space was in the facilities business, A1 Facilities Management. So Ram Balan, he must be somewhere here, I know. Ram's the first gentleman that we acquired a company from. Such a nice, fine gentleman to deal with. He's a pleasure to have together in your room. We completed the acquisition. He's still a mentor to us, to our team. And that acquisition taught us that if we're dealing with the right people, we can always make an acquisition a success. And we're so happy that Ram's part of our team. And he, and along with a few others who joined us from A1, Ashok Biradar, Satish, Digvijay, etc., all people who have spent about 10 years at least in the company, long-standing management, great job that they're doing. A1 has also grown as time went by. We hired Sanjeev Saklani as the CEO for the business, the first professional CEO we hired for this business, situated in Delhi. Along with him, we've got a team, Rakesh Balwan in the west, and we've got a couple of people again in the north managing this business. So we manage almost 150 million square feet of space in A1. So it's a lot of square footage of space that we manage. If you take, let's say, about 100 square feet per person, it's almost about 1.5 million people that we are in contact with in the offices that we manage. So it's a big business, 20,000 people that we employ there, and I'm sure it's going to look up and do a lot of things in the future. Along with the soft and hard services business in A1, we also have an investment in a company called Helper. Helper is a business that does personalized home cleaning services, led by Vijay. You'll hear more about this company in the future. It's going to be one of India's leading home services companies, and they've got a great application. So if you have an Android phone or an iOS phone, and you go and download this application called Helper, you can call people to your house to come and clean your house, or even do home maintenance services for yourself. So that's a great business that we have a lot of potential in. Industrial asset management, it's the fourth business that we have. We have two gentlemen, senior gentlemen who are part of that business. The president of that, Satyakam Basu, is today part of the jury, so be nice to him when you see him, otherwise he'll score you badly. Satyakam is somebody who's had loads of experience behind him. He used to head a steel plant of the ArcelorMittal Group, which is in Europe, about 2 million ton plant. Joined us to take over part of the business from Rajeshwar Rao. Rajeshwar Rao is heading our international business right now, the previous president. It's a great business that we're involved in. As the Indian economy builds up and the industrial side of the economy is growing, we will be the maintenance leaders in this space. We have a 30-year-old track record. We do almost 1,300 megawatts of power that we maintain right now. We have almost 20-odd million tons of steel that we involved with manufacturing, and about 5 million tons of non-ferrous metals too. So employs about 4,000 people, and this is a business I'm sure you'll hear news about in the future. We're working on new initiatives, which includes things like asset life extension and managing agency contracts for banks who take over debt and convert them into equity for larger projects. So this is a span of things that we do in India, but there are also a few things that happens outside India. We've got Vijay Shivram, who's been with me actually since 2002, and again, like Sachin, a lot of energy in him, grown up the ranks. He's now the director for our Southeast Asian operations. He has almost about 1,000 people working between Sri Lanka, Philippines, and Malaysia. So doing very well, and you'll hear more about Vijay as we move along. We have Carl Braganza in Sri Lanka. He heads Quest Sri Lanka right now. We've got 610 people working there, and effectively we are replicating the success of Quest in Sri Lanka too. Recently, we did an acquisition of a company called Comtel in Singapore, which some of you have read about. Comtel is Singapore's largest professional staffing company. So much like what Magna is to India, Comtel is to Singapore. It has about 1,500 people working there, has about $100 million of revenue, and makes about $8 to $10 million of profit. So that's a company that can grow at about 20% year on year. So in Southeast Asia, if you take, includes India, Singapore, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and Philippines. We have a great footprint, and we hope to be building on this. We also have Vivek Arora. A lot of you would have met with Vivek Arora in the past. A solid guy who's been part of our facilities success story. We've now shipped him out to the Middle East, and we hope to be able to build a lot of Quest businesses around him in the Middle East. So this is really the span of what we do. Why I've told you all this is because it's rare that you will get to see so many people in the room, and you'll be wondering what do all these people do. So some of them will belong to these 10 or 12 businesses that I explained, and I'm sure all of you would like at some time to move across or explore opportunities across the group, which we will welcome. The only point I want to touch upon now before I close out and allow all the festivities to begin is that you are today both the performer and the audience. You're going to be the performer when I think most of you will come on stage to do something or the other. So enjoy the time that you get. This is like a family. Everybody you see here is part of your life in some way. So when you come here and do something in front of them, it's not an unknown audience that you're performing to. It's a known crowd. So be yourself. Enjoy the evening. And as the audience, appreciate everybody else who comes on and does something for you. Give them always a great hand and clap for them and make them feel that they're doing a great job. I have to also thank, before I close out, the corporate folks who have also, been silently in the background working. Human resources, Rajesh joined recently. We're getting a whole lot of new systems into human resources, and hopefully Rajesh and the team will energize the function and get a lot of things going there. We've got finance and accounts, Ranjit and team that does a lot of work there, especially in the back office. Pradeep Singh, where we process almost about 100,000 to 150,000 payrolls every month. We also have the admin function where Pradeep heads it. We've got the Marcom function, which every year produces this event, and we're hopeful that this year as well we'll have a great function. Alpana's making way for Preeti to join the function. So between the two of them, they will manage the Marcom function for now. We got legal and secretarial again. We got Sudarshan Pallab, who's come in recently from Hyderabad, as well as Pavan Nirogi. In the year of when we went public, there's a lot of work that had to be done in that. So the team has done very well to cope with all of this. And finally, I've got, CareWorks, which we'll of course talk about later in the day. Smitha heads it very capably. Last year when we started, last year when we were here at the same program, we had maybe about 2 to 3 schools, or maybe 4 schools that we're managing. This year we reached 20 schools, and we've got 4,000 students. So you'll be happy to know that the team here, everybody sitting here and everybody is working at Quest, is making an impact, is making a difference to 4,000 children today across India in school programs. We're also working on a terminal care hospice project, which we will soon announce and work with. Smitha and the team has got a lot of things coming up on that front. Support her as much as you can, and let's contribute and let's do as much as we can for society as well. Finally, I've got my team. At the end of this whole list, I've got 5, 6 people that I work with on a daily basis. I've got Subratanag, who I spend more miles in the air with than with my own wife. I've traveled many cities with her, many cities with him. Fantastic co-traveler with me, not just on visits outside India, but in building quests and being beside me in the cockpit as we keep steering the ship along and building Quest into what is perhaps one of India's best-known companies today. I've also got the M&A team that works with me, Abhinandan, Sumant, Samik, and we got Saurabh Parekh, etc. We got 3, 4 people there who do a lot of work with me on all the M&As that we've done. And finally, Pratibha, who is the backstop. She's like the goalkeeper in our office. Everything misses, she catches it. So she's tremendous support in everything that we do. So that's really everybody who's been involved with building this team. Now, implicit in this whole company is each one of you. And that's why you are the chief guest today. And we love to have you here. We love to see you laugh. We love to see you clap. We love to see you make the noise like the MC made you do today. Enjoy yourself. And next year when we come back here, we should say it's tough to beat last year's record. So make this Sangam one of the best that you can actually be with. All the best.